Or no?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Last Minute Rundown. I'm Deviant Dario,
I'm Infinite One.
and we are doing a Halloween special with these guys. Ooh, and they're freaking werewolves. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know either of these guys. Well, at least I didn't know either of these guys until researching them, because I never really played Killer Instinct, and I forget what was the other one called again.
No, but I'm hitting you next time I see you for that fucking intro.
Get over it.
No,
All
I will not.
right. All right. So, all right. So first up, we're talking about Sabrewulf.
Bitch.
Yes, you are. Anyway, Sabrewulf. This guy's an interesting one. So looking up these guys, I was kind of curious what made these werewolves interesting in general. Besides, they're basically from good fighting games that meh about. First of all, this guy can freaking throw. The first thing that caught my attention was the fact that his projectile attack is freaking flaming bash, which I think is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, but I love it. A werewolf that throws bats. I don't know who thought of
Like,
that, but thank you.
like, like, like baseball bats or like actual Corona bats.
Like Corona, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, just think about that.
Someone,
It's kind
someone,
of
someone,
it beats the
someone's gonna get mad at
purpose.
me for that one. Someone's gonna get mad at me for that.
Oh, get over it. All right, so Sabrewulf, full name Baron Conrad von Sabrewulf. Yes, his last name is Sabrewulf. All right, so pretty strong, pretty much to the point where he can pretty much what's considered island class strength, where he's strong enough to pretty much break an island or even a mountain base area. So in that case, that's pretty strong. Obviously, is only known for melee based attacks, other than the projectile flaming bats. But from what we do know about him, obviously is a major character in the Killer Instinct franchise. It been in I think every game last time I checked. And at some point, he eventually got the lycanthropy disease, which turned him into a werewolf, and was able to use that to his advantage to basically take part in the Killer Instinct tournament. Since everyone in that freaking tournament has to have some crazy perk. To be fair, we did have a robot and an Iceman on that. That's right. Wasn't the Iceman like an alien or something?
I think so.
Yeah. At one point during the tournament, through certain circumstances, he did get cybernetic implants onto his arms, or just cybernetic arms in general. I'm not sure, but he did eventually have them removed, so he doesn't really rely on that anymore. So pretty much all bare strength with him.
Your strength.
Yeah. So besides the fact that this guy kind of has a hard time trying to gain his sanity when going back and forth with this form, he does try to use like ancient medicines and other types of weird artifacts to help learn how to control his shit. He's basically like the Hulk, like trying to control his anger, but in this case trying to control his werewolf transformation. basically through
Fun.
basically through very complex probably painful meditations and just procedures in general. Because either that or kill a lot of people. I mean, some would prefer the latter, but those are some people.
It's all over the preference of the person.
Yeah. That being said, because of the slight loss of sanity, it doesn't not exactly the brightest in general. So he's not exactly a smart tactical thinker. But granted, most of the fighting is literally all instinct to him, so he doesn't really have to think too much about it when fighting.
So this is the power of instinct.
Basically. And I guess referring to the game itself, like they get like certain abilities like instinct mode, which, as implied, it increases the character's strength. At least for him, increases his strength by 25%. So most of what he can do just is amplified by, like I said, another 25%.
Just all right. Hmm.
All right, so his most notable attacks are basically overpowering, where he pulls his hand back and lunges at his foe. He can charge this technique so it can't be blocked, or shadow moves, where he can pull off a stronger version of some of his other attacks. So basically, an amplifier. Ranged edge, where he swipes his claws at his opponent twice in either in the shadow version or in the regular version, he'll just swipe his claws at anything up to 5 times, which can charge towards at them. So He uses a lot of multi/slash based techniques, and which is fair because it doesn't really have his own style of combat. He's literally an animal.
All right.
No, the only really known weaknesses with him, besides I guess a silver bullet, but that's besides the point. He's unwilling to go all out for the fear that he pretty much will lose himself and will never come back. So because he refuses to go full strength, he's afraid he'll just snap and never return to his insanity ever again, which is pretty much the whole point of him trying to control himself.
She's going to be thrown out the window anyway because Death Battle removes that limitation for him.
True. So keep in mind, once he's in that state, he's literally just pure berserk and just a wild animal, and a non-thinking animal. So keep that in mind. So once he is in that state, as long as he is keeping the enemy pretty much at bay enough to not get a chance to overpower him, then he might have an advantage in that state. God forbid he ever comes back to normal, but in that case, who knows? It might be an advantage into the fight. And when it comes to speed, it's what does it say? It says it's massively hypersonic, and basically point where it's compared to Fulgor and Chief Thunder, who are considered to be massively hypersonic. So, granted, he's definitely quick on his feet, and we to understand that. So, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what to say about these guys. It's so straightforward. It's like whatever.
Doing pretty much a lot of straightforward battles the past couple.
I know. Well, this one is the most straightforward one. Like, there's really not much on
It's
these guys.
basically two werewolves fighting with certain differences.
Yeah, okay. All right, not really much else to really add with him. So I think that's it for Sabrewulf. So let's talk about his opponent.
So let's see here. Galen, also known as Jon Talbain. Quick little background on him. British born, born to a British human mother and a werewolf. Mother died shortly after giving birth to him, and he had no contact with his father, so there was no way of finding him. He lived as a human until one full moon, where he transformed, and the human public basically shunned him. He didn't want the primal instincts to consume him, so he ended up going to find a master, and that I can't remember the name of the master right now. He helped him to control his instincts of needing to transform.
Yeah, because he basically had the same powers as well.
Yeah,
It's kind
and
of it kind of reminded me of the similar relationship with Spawn and his master, but the guy who trained him.
yeah. He did learn how to control his form though, because he learned to he's able to transform into a werewolf at night, any night, any time, just by willpower.
Oh, okay. So
he can go at night whenever he wants. He can turn into a werewolf.
okay, but only at night, right?
It's specific. It said at night, so I don't. It never said anything about during the day.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's relevant because once they're going to be fighting at night.
The fight's gonna be at night anyway.
I'm just curious because if any of them can actually just at will any time of day.
He was mostly aggressive. He was mostly aggressive before, I guess, finding finding the master.
Oh yeah, no, because I remember looking at him at first that he basically, yeah, like you said, he was mostly just the typical werewolf, wild animal fighting kind of thing. And then when he ran into, who I still have to look up, the unknown master in a little bit, he basically just utilized not just that he utilized martial arts with the ferociousness of the lycanthropy attacks basically, and made a unique style out of it, and basically whooped his ass with it. And said, "Hey, can you show me how to do that?" It's like, yeah.
I just found a photo of him fighting Ryu. While looking up like this master, I found a picture of
Probably
Jon
Capcom.
fighting Ryu.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so he learned a defensive fighting style. He can use key attacks, and when he becomes a werewolf, they become much stronger. Obviously, he's skilled with nunchucks. All right, so his key attacks based on the video games, Beast Cannon, which I couldn't find. I'm assuming is like a regular like key blast attack. Climb Laser is a backward flip kick with a key away from his leg. Wild Circular, he grabs the opponent and throws as he bounces back. So I guess he like throws him with enough force to jump backwards.
Mm.
Million Flicker, a multi-hitting nunchuck attack, which is more of like a stunning kind of attack, I would assume. But it does a little damage because it's nunchucks. So I guess it like more to stun. Dragon Cannon, a high key projectile attack, which the description was like a high like screen blurring attack. Mirage Body, he can make a copy or an illusion of himself and uses that for multiple combo attacks. The Wolf Cannon, he covers himself in ki and can tackle opponent and attack opponents at high speeds. He can summon a giant flaming dragon head or a pack of wolves. So basically, like what you said with the other guy with his flaming bats,
Okay,
he can make a flaming dragon head or a pack of wolves.
you know what? I'll just call these their summoning familiars, because
Yes.
that's kind of what. Because that's probably the best way I could see it, from not being too silly.
Yeah, and he's about 80 years old.
Oh.
Oh, his fighting style. His fighting style is based on Jeet Kundo.
Jikundo, okay, and
Jeet
karate
Kundo.
probably.
Yeah. And the last thing I really have is he can grow his claws for a short period of time, making for stabbing weapons.
Ooh, okay, so like projectiles in a sense as well.
No, not projectiles, but like I guess he can like grow his nails.
I guess just break it off and make it a shiv.
Maybe, but it says he can. It says claws can grow shortly, making them stabbing weapons. So like maybe like
Okay, never mind. I think it meant like he could
yeah.
snap them off, kind of thing.
No, he's like Megan Family Guy when she gets hit with when she gets covered in the toxic waste
Yeah.
and can grow her fingernails.
Oh god.
That's that's great because I just watched that episode like 5 minutes ago.
Oh good. You can send me the clip
Five
that I'll put in this video.
5 minutes before we started recording this, I watched it. So that was the freshest reference in my head. But that's really all I had on him.
I mean, one other thing to point out with his fighting style, he's also, I'm not gonna say he's all ultra instinct, but he had to go through some meditation based practices so he can be very calm and more, I guess, how can I put it, the opposite of what a werewolf would do. Not exactly be savage and just chaotic and rushing, but actually more calculative and kind of just flowing with his movements. And at the same time being ferocious, but which is kind of redundant. But you know what? It works for him, and it kind of makes an interesting blend of attacks for him.
Hold on, I think I just he forgot most of his memories. He moved when he came back.
Cause you said it was Taekwondo. He practiced,
Yeah,
right?
Makai, I think was his master's name. Makai, I think. Yeah, I think that was it.
Write in the comments how much we suck at this.
Yeah, this was a fast one because
This was kind
they
of rushed, and we didn't really have time.
because originally they were doing Red vs Blue, and then I found out like a couple days ago that
We
they're
didn't
doing
know
these
what they were
guys.
doing. I don't think they. No offense, I don't think they were either. But then again, I can only imagine the chaos over at the, well, really not offices, because now it's all through Zoom. I can only
Yeah.
imagine the constant phone calls and Zoom meetings. We love you guys over at Rooster Teeth doing Death Battle.
They don't want. They don't want. They don't know of our existence. We're fine. But in case you guys do, we're sorry.
All right, so I think that's really it with him.
Barb, I love you. Okay, yeah, I think that's it.
All right. So thank you again, everyone, for another episode. Very quick, rushed episode of Last Minute Rundown. And again, I guess that's kind of the point. So, yay. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm Deviant Dario,
I'm Infinite One.
and have a happy Halloween.
Boo.
Bleh.